Stiegel. How long's it been, Ahab? 12 years? Funny, in the time you've been off the streets, we haven't had one father raped, molested, tongue-kissed or otherwise. I'm only here to help, Stiegel. If memory serves me correctly, fathers have a way of turning up raped and killed when you try to help. Are you gonna help me like you helped old Bill Cummings? You bastard. Oh, one reason, Ahab. Come on.
Welcome to another day of celebration turned into holiday horror. I am Joe, and this is my brother Ricky. And Ricky, you ready to talk another Troma movie?
Yeah, not only a trauma film, but it is an Astron-6 production. So,
And it wasn't that Psycho Gorman?
yeah. They
It is
were
Psycho Gorman.
Psycho Gorman. This is the crew behind Psycho Gorman. And an excellent film that came, I think, a year after this one, actually, called The Editor. And what's good about that film's even better than this one, I'll tell you right now. That one is a play on the Giallo film. It's a spoof off of that, so it's great. It's
Ah,
fun. That's my first film that I came across this production company. I think like Five Guys, but they call it Astron 6. I don't know why, but if you see, that's why it's directed by. It's like all of them. They're all part of it. And they
yeah,
also,
pretty much.
and if you notice, they also have bit parts in the VHS series. They do some of those segments as well too, and
I noticed that only after I saw the credits when I was not the
yeah.
credits, I was looking them up online. But yes, so it's Father's Day. So we had to make sure to drop a Father's Day episode. All you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. The movie is directed, stars, and also written by Adam Brooks, who plays Ahab, Matthew Kennedy as Father John, and Connor Sweeney as Twink. It also co-stars Amy Groening as Chelsea. This movie starts fucked up. I mean, there's no other way to put this. I mean,
Oh man.
I'm sitting here going, what the fuck am I watching? And how high am I? Like, and then I get your text because I generally don't want to look at the phone. And you go, you might be disturbed by this a little bit. And I'm like, well, now I'm curious. And then it starts, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is a one of a kind serial killer that I don't think I've ever seen before in a movie at all.
Oh
Whoever
man.
thought about this, yeah, the six or five, they're fucked up. I mean, this was, and honestly, it's probably what kind of makes the movie like captivating because it's just something different. But Rick, who is Fuchman?
Fuchman. Wait, who is Fuchman? Fuchman.
The bad
Fuckman?
guy.
Fuck.
No,
Wait,
it's pronounced Fuchman.
it's Fuchman?
It's Fuchman. Yeah, no, it's Fuchman.
I thought it
You
was
want to say
Fuckman.
Fuckman. You want to say Fuckman.
It's not
But
Fuckman.
no, it's not Fuckman. Fuchman.
Hold on, man. This
Uh,
fucking movie. By the way, like after you got my message and you said, "Oh, now I'm curious," and about like 10 minutes later, your follow-up message was like, "Holy shit, the opening was insane."
Yeah,
Well, I need a
it
beer
was.
for this. I need a sip.
Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna take a little sip of my
I'm
shot
sorry.
too
What,
because
what
this is
what was your question?
who's Fuchman?
um. Oh man, Chris Fuchman. Wow, interesting because when you first watched the film, you were under the impression that it's a serial killer, a serial killer that rapes men, but not just any man. A father has to be a dad. We don't know exactly why, but
Make sure he comes through my door.
oh, it's
I just announced it.
but I mean, as the film chugs along, you figure out that he is it's a manifestation of this vile and depraved demon, and it's a demon. Uh, I guess is what Fuchman you said.
Fuchman.
Fuchmanicus? Is that what it is? Is that how you?
Fuchmanicus, that's how you would say
So
the yes,
that's the main demon
Fuchmanicus.
that is worshipped by the satanic cult, and each generation has their own Fuchman. And when a Fuchman dies, this entity possesses a woman possesses her, seduces a man, and creates another Fuchman. Essentially, by the end of the film, we find out that Ahab, our main protagonist, uh, he is kind of forced to produce his own Fuchman, and that's supposed to be like the most powerful Fuchman of them all. If
Yep.
this sounds ridiculous, it's because it is, man.
It's
This is the
totally
plot, mind you,
ridiculous.
bro.
I'm glad we decided to do this. Is like I was like looking, I'm like, what are we gonna do for Father's Day? There's one called Father's Day.
Yeah.
And then when I knew that you kind of tricked me into it because you probably looked up into it and saw who was the writers and stuff. And
No,
he's like,
because what
oh
happened was, if you look back on our previous episode, by the way, another Troma film, Mother's Day, which has nothing to do with this film.
no,
But during that film, we both were like, there is a Father's Day where we actually had to check in real time and we still couldn't figure it out. All right, we'll figure it
we'll
out
figure it out.
later.
We
And
found
just
it.
before, like a few days ago, I'm like, dude, we got to figure out what we're gonna watch. So I'm looking on Father's Day. I'm like, is it 2011? And then when I see it, and I see it's Astron-6, I'm like, holy shit! Yes, yes, we gotta watch it. We're definitely. I don't give a fuck. This is the movie because I know this production team is bonkers. This is what Grindhouse films should strive for, at least in this. I mean, I say 2025. This is from 2011, but still, it's still fairly, modern. And the movie is made to look cheap. The acting is bad on purpose, and the simplicity and the low budget of the film, in my opinion, is its biggest strength because they are forced to accentuate the practical effects and the fucking killer soundtrack in this movie, bro.
Yeah.
Coupled with like amazing cinematography, and like I said, you could tell they're having fun with it. And there's no limits. This is not for the easily offended. This is
Oh.
not for everybody. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, Fuchman. So, I mean, what did you think of Fuchman? Fuckman, not Fuchman.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you have your closed captioning on, and every time the word Fuchman comes up, you want to say fuckman. So I think you spend a lot of the time in the movie going fuckman, and then you realize, well, that was a play on words because the guy literally fucks men, and then he eats them,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, whew.
and that
What happened to
beginning,
Walnut?
well, the beginning scene where he's giving himself head
Hold on, before
with
that,
the little head.
explain that scene really quickly in detail. I need to hear from your perspective,
No. I mean,
man. Come
like
on.
literally all I saw was this guy was just cutting up this man, pulling out all like the innards and everything. I was like, wow, this is like pretty intense to start off with right now. And then you like see the guy's head off to the side, and then moments later, as the camera pans, the guy is like this with the head, and I'm like, what the living fuck am I watching right now? I I rewound it because I needed to make sure that's exactly what I saw. And when I was telling my husband Adam about this,
Yo.
he goes, You rewound parts, didn't you?" I'm like, "I did," because I just wanted to make sure that I saw what I thought I saw.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
there was a scene that I had to rewind as well because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
it's insane. But
Yeah.
I will give these people credit. They created a pretty fucked up serial killer, like or demon. I guess it's a demon. Either way, the brutality of which and I think they had all these different names. Hold on, the Father's Day killer, the cannibal killer, the fat boy fucker, and the cannibal cock killer. That's when he was naming all those names. I was like, this movie's going for serious while at the same time it's like splat. I'm like, this is like a splatter house. So, like it's just enjoy this fucking ride. It's gonna, just wait. I'm pretty sure at some point you're gonna see the fucking toilet and the kitchen sink fly across. And if it hits something, it'll probably be funny too. But the
I'm gonna
killer
tell you right
itself.
now, if we would have saw a sink fly by or a kitchen sink, that would have been probably normal compared to the shit that we saw in
Well,
this film.
yeah, I mean, very true. But for giving the movie because we're doing horror here. The killer part itself, like this was a fucking thought out, fucked up killer.
Score
And when they
sword.
showed him doing things, you just you have it's hard to wipe away. I mean, it's just like it was a
What makes him
lot.
scary too is he can appear nowhere. Like when Walnut, that's Twink's buddy, when he said that he got some girl pregnant, which technically makes him a father. All of a sudden, like, he appears and oh, he fucked him up, bro. This is the guy like we literally saw him like eating the man's penis like a hot dog, bro.
He
It
did.
was it
He
was
literally bit his dick off. Oh, gross, 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 gross. Oh.
This is horror fiend TV. We try to not go over the top if we cannot, but we are a horror channel, so we gotta discuss these things. I don't like to sugarcoat things. When the guy is using the razor blade, slicing the tip of his penis, bro,
Oh my
I
god.
swear to you, I could watch a lot of stuff. Martyrs was one movie I had to turn away probably the most of my life, but this one here, which it wasn't nearly as bad because this was more slapstick, but just as a man, bro, that scene alone, I just couldn't take it. I'm like, oh my god, can we? And it lingered,
It
bro.
lingered. I grab onto my friend. It's okay.
Your buddy,
I
your
said we're gonna
buddy.
be okay. When you sent me the text, it was more of, oh, all right. So hills have eyes. I'm thinking in my head the types of movies in your series. So I was like, all right, if he's gonna say that this is gonna be something on his, I'm putting it in parallel to all the stuff that you've covered. So that's where I felt at ease.
Mhm. The reason why I had said that because it's not really the content of the film that's my kind of film. It's just the production style. It's very grindhouse, very retro. I love it starts like you're watching a movie like on TV. It's got like from the moment it starts, it tells you coming up next Father's
Yeah.
Day, and then it gives you like two other films. Like if you're from our era, when you watch TV, that's what it was like. It would tell you exactly what was following it up, and then it gives you a trailer in the middle of the movie for one of these films. And Father's Day, this one, because I didn't know anything about this movie until now. And I did look it up when I was looking at, through the cast and stuff. There is apparently this film was originally a Fox trailer turned into a feature film. So I'm gonna go back now. I'm gonna see wait
In one of
what
which movie they put it in?
yeah, I want to see which they put it in and if they ever made the film that there was referenced in this movie somehow. But I wasn't the editor though. I'm telling you, Joe, you have to watch the editor.
I'll watch
It's
it.
awesome.
I'll
If you
watch it.
notice the actor from here, Ahab, that was your boy from Psycho Gorman, the dad.
Yeah, and he was
he,
also in Dark Harvest. He was the pastor.
yes, yo, I'm telling you, this he's in a lot of stuff, man.
Mhm.
Adam Brooks, right? That's his
Yep,
name.
Adam Brooks.
Ah, good shit, good shit.
Coming up at 3. In the year 1999, the universe is at war, and it's up to Captain Blake Starr to save it in Star Raiders.
I knew you would save me, Blake. Star.
Oh, dude, this was a surprise. This came out of left field for me. I did not know this movie existed, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. So when I saw the poster, that's what I saw first. I'm like, no way. Oh, we're in for a treat. But holy shit, I was not expecting this though. Not this.
Star Raiders on the Astron-6.
This is a really, really honestly, like, brutal fucking sadomasochist, like, when they showed, like, the dungeon with the guy who was obviously being sacrificed. Some of these conversations, you may have to probably watch out for a follow-up to this between the 2 of us because we may have to talk about that because, as you said, this was out of nowhere, and if I would have found this, it would have been what messed me up, but they would have told you about it because you would have been saw it was from the group, and then you would have been like, "What the fuck?" So, yeah, this might end up, like I said, being a double feature. I guess to look out for it.
I know the kind of stuff that makes you uncomfortable. and that's why I had sent you that message.
I appreciate that. And then of course, as literally, I've read that,
Yeah.
and then the scene happens, and I'm like, so that's what he's talking about. Okay.
And once the movie was over, and you were like, "I just finished it. That was twisted." I was like, "All right, Joe must hate me right now."
No, not at
But then
all. I was
you got
looking
my
forward
sense
to
of
it.
humor, and you don't get as easily as offended, just like I do. I can see the shit. I take it for what it is. It's so silly, man, that you can't help but just be entertained by it, man.
You then get basically introduced to our heroes. And these are just not like your run of the mill heroes like you get in the horror movies that we do. First, I didn't get his name, but it's the guy with the really bad contacts. The father. Father O'Reilly.
O'Reilly Flynn, right?
O'Reilly. Oh, is that his
Father
name?
Flynn, right? Father
Flynn
Flynn,
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly Flynn, some shit like that.
First, there's Father O'Flynn, and I'm gonna say like those contacts kind of were distracting me a little bit.
Oh my god, they were
It
awful.
was, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe he got blinded by something since you start figuring out that there's something more here. So he sends Father John on the most obnoxious, funny, like you're watching it and you're seeing that it's meant to add levity to the whole thing, but then it's comical. And by the time that man never took whatever you call that white piece that the
Yeah,
by the time he made it
his
to
shirt was
find,
completely ripped off, but yeah, that
yeah,
remained.
that was like the only thing that remained. So Father O'Flynn sent him to find Ahab. And then you find Ahab, who we got introduced in the beginning. And then
Remember when you first saw Ahab? Happy Father's Day.
he said Happy Father's Day. And
Awesome
had the
moment.
missing eye, a little on the nose, but it was actually kind of fucking funny. But Ahab then decides, okay, I'll go back with you because Fuchman is back. But first, I got to go find my sister, who turns out to be a stripper. And then the sister is friends with Twink, whose father ends up having, the same fate that Ahab and Chelsea's father had also had. And now all these people are put together to help take down Fuchman. What you think of our heroes?
Yeah, it's right. And what's cool is that they like Fuchman. He affected each and every one of these three characters in their own way. Obviously, I think the O'Flynn was really close with Father John, and of course Twink and Ahab's father, both murdered. And Ahab actually went to jail for 10 years because he was framed for you know he was framed as the whatever Father's Day killer. Just got so many monikers, like you
No,
said.
well, no.
So
What happened was he was framed. The the cop was working with the
yeah,
Fuchmans, and he went to jail for what would have been one of Fuchman's
yeah, exactly.
victims. Yeah,
But he was let go from all the other charges, but that one though
one
is the
that
one that landed him in jail.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
the
right.
murder.
Yep, yep,
Murder
right.
was the case that they gave him.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that's almost like if you watch any of the old like kung fu flicks from like the 70s. That's like the same kind of arc they gave Ahab in this film. This guy's over there and fucking in the wilderness somewhere making what was it, honey, or what the fuck was that shit he
Bear
was
oh,
syrup,
oh,
syrup,
syrup. He does syrup,
syrup.
but he ferments the berries.
He fucked it up though. Oh my god, bro, when they ate the berries and they were hallucinating. Oh my god. I thought this guy really killed Twink.
I
Father
did
John.
too.
I thought he killed him.
Listen, I got so many little homages in this movie to other ones. Like when
Yeah.
they were tripping, I'm like, oh, this is like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, so many films. Yeah, a lot
And
of
his
films did
eyes
that.
went wide. I'm like, oh god, they're gonna be tripping. I'm like, okay, just remember that whatever you're gonna see, it's in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not really seeing that right
Hmm.
now.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But the the three characters, what I liked about them is I like their chemistry between all three. They're all different, and for some reason I don't know what it was, but Twink, like, especially in the beginning when He had like, the worst acting by design, though. By
Yeah,
design, it's meant to be over the top and like never.
16-year-old.
And the voice didn't always sync correctly, and you could tell they ADR'd a lot of it. But again, by design, because they're going for that old like grindhouse, 70s schlocky feel to it. What year this was this supposed to take place in the 80s or no? I don't know,
No, I
but
think well, it's
90s or
no, probably
modern,
probably modern. I think it
probably
was
modern,
modern.
right? I didn't catch anything out of the ordinary, but interesting because on top of all of the gross shit that we talked about and offensive shit, that's not all. I mean, we had incest also in this
Yeah.
movie. I mean,
There's the kitchen sink.
like the way like Ahab and his sister were going at it. It wasn't like okay, maybe no, they were going at it. And then I'm like, wait, did I miss? Are they stepbrother and stepsister? But no, it turns out they're not. So
Well, and his
wow.
explanation was kind of funny. Like he's trying to
Have you
fight
looked
it
at
off.
her?
Well, he first was trying to fight it off. He's like, when I went away, you were this little girl, and now that I come back and you're kind of hot, I shouldn't be thinking about this. But then I'm like, wow, she's kind of hot, but like we shouldn't do this. But yeah, so then I thought about you, and then oh yeah, and then when he gets questioned, he's like, no,
That's the best part.
no,
But behind too.
we might have fooled around a little bit, just to look like each other. But it was
I
it.
love how Father John did that. The way he played it, he was like telling him what would happen because they told him exactly the demon possess they possess women to get to mate whatever. It's okay, but it's a good thing you didn't do anything with your sister, so we're good. That's
You kept
he's
it
like
platonic. And you
like
kept it platonic with your sister, unless
how about wait a minute. When Ahab's running with his sister and they got the two guys, Twink and John behind them, and they see Fuchman running across that bridge, and Ahab just drops his sister and runs over to him. He just dropped her, like, and he fucked him up, bro. He splattered her big time. He stepped on his head, then he threw him off the bridge, and he went around. Let's go,
he
let's
goes, let's
go,
go finish him
let's
off.
go, let's go finish him off. Jesus Christ, he's got no head. He just. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what it was. The humor did land with me in this movie, man.
Same with me, same with me. And I know
It's
that
so
you're
good.
probably nervous that I was gonna hate it.
Yeah, because you
I
hated Psycho Gorman. That's
I again, as I sat there and I'm
there's no
watching it,
obnoxious kids in this movie, and that's
there's
the
no
strength.
kids.
That's
There's
the
no
strength.
kids.
That's why
Well,
that's what I hate about Psycho Gorman. That little girl ruined that movie for me. But I love
Twink,
the characters, the effects, and the monsters. But yeah,
but Twink is supposed to be a 16-year-old, a
you're
much very
right. That's
older
right. That's
looking
right.
16-year-old.
Because the dude said that Walnut said, "Oh, that's a 16-year-old. You
Yeah.
pig or whatever." Yeah, you're right. He
But
didn't look like no 16-year-old, but he's
no,
yeah.
not at all. Which
I
was the
think
other funny
that's the
part
joke
too.
too. I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you get this guy that reminds me of Ahab is like a mixture of and I can't remember both their names, but I know you know who I'm going to talk about. Kurt Russell's characters in
Snake
Escape
Plissken,
from Snake and a little bit of from The Thing.
McCready.
I mean, yes, I got both of them on him. But then they gave homage to these two characters, but then the other ones not so much. But I actually love the father.
Mhm.
I love that the father, so he started out trying to be all helpful. When he first is introduced to Twink, is to help him out because the dad, thinks his son. Well, actually, it's he's picked him up from jail,
Yeah,
obviously for prostitution
that's what it
again.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, the father's trying to be helpful. He's like, "Ooh, a little defiant one." But by the end of it, when the father gives the sermon and he's like, he says something and he goes, "Where's God? Is he down here? Is he up there? God's a fat pig who just sits around. I'm still here." I'm like, and I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Like,
And
it's
you
a
see the
Catholic.
congregation sitting there like, only one guy actually stood.
Actually, what was funny was because when it first started, you had one guy was like this. And then when all of a sudden the father, John was going crazy, he's like his whole like
Yeah.
I picked up like some of the people,
Yeah,
but
if
when
you
he
notice, everyone else kind of like digressed. But he's the only one that kind of perked up, like, ooh, wait a minute.
but
And
when he
when he
pulled
pulled
out
out
the
that
gun,
gun,
you had the one guy. Whew, I was like, this movie is just
One guy, just one. I would have ran out of there. I seen that shit.
yeah. I mean, first of all, you know, like first a preacher's about to pull out a gun. Shit's about to go downhill.
Yeah.
Listen, if that happens, run the fuck out of church.
Yeah.
Don't even try to be a hero.
I find myself asking, what would Jesus do? Huh? Where's he? Rose from the dead, didn't he? Moved a right big rock and all that. Is he himself gonna punish the wicked? Fuck no. So I'm going to do it for him.
Let's tear this place apart!
I just thought this band of people that were put together were all perfect. It was obnoxious, but they all at the movie, honestly, they were putting the silliness in. But you know, all movies that do that, there's reasons for the writing and seeing the development. Basically, you had Twink, who started by the end, was a little bit more like basically like ready to go.
He became like the most heroic one out of the three because he, like
Yeah.
you mentioned, he was the one that was really like pushing everyone to keep going forward. You know.
And then Father John, you know, by the end was a gun wielding, swearing minister.
Wait, what's it? Did he end up in bed with Twink? Was that him?
So yeah,
That was him, right? Okay.
Mhm.
What the? And they never
I
mentioned
had
it
a
again
fe-
after that.
It's
Like,
funny
wait.
because I had a feeling that was going to happen, and they didn't mention that. But I totally was sitting there going,
Yeah.
"Oh God, Twink and Father John are going to sleep together." It's just like so bad for the Catholics, but it's funny at the same time.
And
Love it.
even
I'm here
worse
for
that
it.
you brought up that he's a minor too. Right? Even worse.
And he's a minor, so oh God, I didn't even think about that part too. Oh God,
It
holy
keeps getting
shit.
worse.
The joke is even getting even worse. But I love the fucking characters. I for
Yeah.
the absurdity that it was. The
Oh, bro,
movie was so much fucking fun.
it was. How about before we move on to the closing thoughts? So I don't want to forget this because it involves the characters. The scene when they figure out they have to go to hell in order to stop, Fuchman, and they're sitting at that table deciding who's gonna shoot themselves first, and one by one they shot themselves. I mean, then at the end of the movie, you're thinking they're trying to get back to to the real world, but then it cuts to like all their bodies are decomposing, rotting, getting eaten by cats. No, they're fucked.
Well, and I'm sitting there when I saw the cast, I'm like, yeah, Rick, see what happens when you leave your animals around. They're gonna eat you when you die.
Yeah.
I know you don't want them to see them die, but they're gonna eat you when you die. No, well, I love that they thought, but if you committed suicide in hell, that you can go back.
Yeah.
So he shoots himself. He's missing all his teeth. He's like, ow, and like just blood is coming. I mean, the movie, it's a whole lot of TNA, and here's a slight confession here. You know, the movie did have the rape part, but I'm kind of one of those. I love a lot of TNA in some horror movies, and the TNA with this movie was pretty fucking good. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I especially love the chainsaw wielding stripper.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, you know,
She got
that
fucked
bitch,
up. You knew
she
that
got
was
fucked
coming.
up, but
You knew
she.
that was coming.
So here's the only part that I'm going to say about that scene. I got that she was painting her nails and that she had her headphones on. But the moment that she realized it was there was when she looked in the mirror. At no point you didn't think of honestly, if you're sitting there, you got a mirror in front of you, you can see things are moving around behind you.
Yeah.
That's my little on that when she's sitting there. I'm like, really, you can't see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
You don't smell the gasoline from the fucking chainsaw right
I
now?
don't care what you're listening to. If someone revs a chainsaw that close to you, you're gonna hear
You're gonna
it.
hear it.
You're
So
gonna hear it.
little small. Again, we're talking about a critique that when in the end they're fighting a gigantic demon. You know, that stomps on the two that were helping him. When I saw the demon,
The two
I'm like,
cultist guys.
I was like, that's not the kitchen sink. That's the whole fucking kitchen that they just threw in there right now. And
Yeah.
I went. The movie's been bonkers this whole time. Don't let this be the thing that makes you go, ugh. And then I fucking loved it. It was this movie. Honestly, I'm glad we did it. It is streaming on Prime. I know I'll mention that in the end, but I'm glad we fucking did it. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
What if one of us screws up?
What? You mean what if one of us screws up? You're gonna fag out. I'm not gonna fag out, fag. What? Out? Fag out? I'm not going to.
I'll kill you both right now.
Look, I just don't think guns is the way to go.
Got a better idea?
Pills, razor blades, condoms. I can
Kill myself with a condom.
I saw a guy choke.
Oh. All right, so yet another holiday ruined. So
I would never look at Father's Day the same.
God, don't be a father because some man was gonna come in the house and fucking rape you and then eat you.
Oof.
It should go the other way around.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
like,
I mean,
just
it-
don't
it-
eat my penis, please.
Yeah, oh my god, oh god, that was terrible. But anyway, so yeah, any last thoughts before we sign out of here, bro?
Yeah, we can't end this without talking about the great cameo in this movie, the great Lloyd Kaufman, who plays a dual role of God and the devil. I love when Father John goes up to and the funny thing is when he kills himself, instead of going to hell, he goes to heaven. And he gets into that argument with that angel, and that angel is like, when he's talking about hell, and he says, HE double hockey sticks. Like, what? I had to think about, wait, oh hell.
Hell.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. But yeah, dude, great film. I for what it is, it's a lot of fun. I think if a movie strives to be like offensive and violent, pervasive, and just you gotta go all out like this, but do it in a way where it's aesthetically pleasing. The cinematography is amazing for what it is. The crazy Dutch angles and the zoom ins, the zoom outs, the panning shots, the obnoxious close ups, when appropriate, and just the practical gore effects, bro. Then you got, of course, the big monster, which is super composed. So it looks super composed, but again, it's supposed to look like that because it's mimicking of grindhouse film. You can see the flaws in it, and that's by design. So I loved everything about that. It's just a movie, man. It's I don't know how, like, if I would ever go back and watch it over and over. I'd probably not, but it's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, you got to watch this fucking movie. I was so nice when I saw this fucking movie,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I was in but that's why when I said this reminds me of Horror Fiend Driving in Theater. It had the same kind of production in it, and it has trailers that just randomly pop in. That was one, but still, I love the whole format of this movie, dude. So good pick.
The trailer at the end where they teleport themselves into space
Yeah.
and then they suffocate and die. I'm
Yeah.
like, so you're announcing your show and you just show that they
You showed
died,
their death.
yeah, no, and again, I mean, this wasn't even the only reason it's a pick between us is because we looked it up and we only found Father's Day.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
I said to you, I'm like, I found one. It says Father's Day, so here. And then like I said, we went back and forth. I'm like, all right, let's just go ahead and do this because, for next year it'll be the stepfather.
How
because,
was there never ever a movie called Father's Day up until this one? It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand. Well, because I mean, we're not gonna get our day. Everybody else is celebrated.
Yeah.
We work.
Take it away,
That's
my
the whole
friend.
thing, though. But yeah, no, for me, I sat there and I was just like, Rick's probably like, and I don't.
It's an acquired taste.
I don't think that you think that I was gonna hate it because you knew that at the beginning. So I think you might have been worried when the movie took its like the cheese. I knew, especially when Twink and Father John were holding Ahab, and they're like, "Oh, the Jeep's still good," and the way that it blew up behind him,
Oh yeah,
I was like, "Oh God, that's so
It looked
bad."
terrible. It was bad. It's not by design though.
By design.
Yeah.
When they went to hell and they're sitting there, you got to.
Yeah.
And it looked bad,
It looked
but
bad.
it looked bad for because you know what? It's 2011. Even without having a whole lot of money, there's computers, so they could have made it look better. They went for that. That's the
Yeah.
aesthetic that they went
That's the
for,
aesthetic.
and I was okay with it. I was totally like, I'm like sitting going, I can't wait to talk about this movie with Greg because he's gonna think I'm gonna sit there and hate it, and I actually fucking loved it. What I actually loved is that this movie, with the horrible images that they give you in the beginning of the movie, by the end of the movie, you forgot the horrible images that you saw.
Yeah.
And that is weird for a horror
Well, you
movie.
become desensitized by the end. That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it's so, at the over the top, but in a good way,
Mhm.
that you've forgotten that you just watched a serial killer use a head to give himself a blowjob, and they ate another man's dick off.
Hang back, Mark. I've got this.
And that's a good job on a movie that you can make your audience forget
And
what
that's
the
some of the
fuck they
tamest
saw.
stuff. Like, if you don't want to see babies,
Ugh.
a demon baby, get
Woo.
fucking destroyed, be careful. But hey,
Yeah.
at least I will say one thing: we made it to a. I can't believe not one animal was hurt in this fucking movie, bro.
No, not
No
at
animals
all.
are harmed.
They ate the dead people.
That's
That's
all right. They're
about
not
it.
animals though. It's all good.
All right, so yeah, make sure to check out the movie. It is available on Prime. If you don't have Prime, it is on Tubi, so it's out there for you to watch. If you did not see the movie and you watched this episode, sorry that we messed it up for you and all the crazy bonkerness. So until next time, I'm Joe the Psychologist. That's Ricky Van. And for the next episode, make sure to join us, hit subscribe, and follow because we're going to keep ruining your holidays.
Happy Father's Day.